I flatlined that rainy Tuesday in the ICU. The monitors screeching like banshees as my heart gave out, not from the cancer eating me alive, but from the jagged knife of betrayal twisting in my gut when I glimpsed his Instagram feed on the nurse's phone. My son, Ethan, the boy I'd bled for, slaved for, loved with every ragged breath, wasn't racing through airport security or begging for a red-eye flight. No. He was poolside in Bali, hashtagging blessed and family first while I choked on my own vomit alone under fluorescent hell. And in that final, furious blackout, as the morphine haze swallowed me whole, I swore on the ashes of my shattered dreams, if there was a god, a devil, or some cosmic glitch in the Matrix, I'd claw my way back and make him pay for every goddamn tear. But death isn't the end, it's a goddamn reset button. And mine jammed right back to 5 years earlier, slamming me into my 45-year-old body like a freight train derailing in slow motion. I gasped awake in my queen-sized bed in our McMansion in suburban Chicago. The silk sheets tangled around legs that didn't ache from chemo. My reflection in the vanity mirror showing a face unscarred by radiation burns, smooth skin, full hair, eyes that hadn't dulled to ghost gray. The alarm clock blinked 6:47 a.m. July 15th, 2020, the day after Ethan's college graduation party. The air thick with the hangover haze of cheap beer and forced laughter. My hands flew to my chest, no port, no scars, just the steady thump of a heart that remembered dying. Holy shit. This was real. I was back. And the rage? It burned hotter than the tumors ever did. I stumbled to the bathroom, splashing water on my face, staring at the woman who'd been a fool once but wouldn't be again. Poppy Harlan, widow at 38 after my husband Jake's accident on that icy interstate. The one the cops called a tragedy, but I knew deep down smelled like sabotage because Jake had been sniffing too close to Ethan's shady college buddies and their crypto scams. I'd buried that doubt under PDA meetings and mortgage payments, raising Ethan alone, pouring every dime into his Ivy League dreams while my graphic design freelance gigs barely covered the lights. And for what? For him to ghost me on my deathbed, jetting off to paradise while lawyers circled my estate like vultures. No. Not this time. I'd rewrite the script, expose the rot, and burn it all down if I had to. Ethan was 22 now, fresh out of Northwestern with a finance degree and that golden boy smile hiding teeth sharp as razors. But I knew the truth now, the secrets he'd buried, the deals he'd cut. Payback started today. Downstairs, the kitchen smelled of stale coffee and the faint rot of secrets fermenting like bad milk. Ethan was at the island, scrolling his phone, laughing at some meme while nursing a Bloody Mary. He looked up, all tousled hair and easy charm. Morning, Mom. You look like you saw a ghost. Rough night. His voice was honey over gravel, the same tone he'd used to sweet-talk me into co-signing his student loans. 5 years from now, those loans would be the least of it. He'd forge my signature on a second mortgage, drain the house equity for his startup, then vanish when the feds came knocking for wire fraud. But that was future Poppy's problem. Present me? I forced a smile, my insides churning like a storm drain in a downpour. Something like that. Kiddo. Big day ahead, your future's calling. He chuckled, oblivious, clinking his glass. Yeah, about that. Got an interview downtown with Goldman Sachs. Nailed the callback last week. Lies. Even then, he'd been dodging real jobs, funneling internship cash into dark web trades with his frat boy crew. The ones who'd laugh about easy marks like me over craft IPAs. I poured myself coffee, bloskas my muet, and leaned against the counter, studying him like a markswoman sighting prey. The betrayal wasn't just the vacation post, it was the whole rotten core. Jake's crash? Ethan had been the one to find the black box data, swearing it was mechanical failure. But I'd overheard him on a call months later, boasting about a cleanup payout from some offshore account. And the cancer? I'd ignored the early lumps, chalking them up to stress. But whispers from nurses in my dying days hinted at tampered meds in my vitamin stash, Ethan's helpful refills from a shady online pharmacy. My own son, poisoning me slow for the inheritance, all while playing the grieving heir on TikTok lives. I sipped, scalding my tongue on purpose to ground the surreal fury. Proud of you, Ethan. But hey, before you suit up, let's talk family business. Jake's life insurance finally cleared. $500,000, tax-free. Thought we could divvy it smart. His eyes flickered. Just a microsecond. But I caught it, the greed glint, like a shark scenting chum. In my first life, I'd handed him the check, trusting his investment plan, and watched it vanish into vaporware. This time, I'd dangle it like bait. He straightened, all faux maturity. Whoa. Really? That's huge.
Mom.
We should celebrate. Dinner at Gibson's? My treat. Translation. Butter me up. Isolate me. Then ghost the follow-through. Sounds perfect. I lied. My voice steady as a loaded .38. But first, sign this. I slid over a dummy agreement I'd printed last night. Wait. No. That was impossible.
Shit.
Trung Sin didn't come with a printer fairy. Improv it was. I grabbed a napkin, scribbled a quick IOU outline. Ethan agrees to co-manage funds with parental oversight. He signed without blinking, too eager for the windfall. Hook.
Line.
Sinker. The day blurred into a haze of calculated normalcy, dropping him at the L train for his fake interview. Me veering to the library instead of my home office. Digging into public records on microfiche like a paranoid PI in a noir flick. Jake's accident report. Skid marks inconsistent. Brake fluid low. Overlooked because the responding officer was a golf buddy of Ethan's uncle, the family fixer. Uncle Ray, the silver-tongued lawyer who'd handled the estate, pocketing fees while Ethan skimmed the rest. By noon, I'd photocopied enough to see doubt, my backpack heavier with ammo than a doomsday prepper's. Back home, I hit the garage, prying open Jake's old toolbox for the hidden drive he'd stashed, encrypted files on Ethan's early hacks, kid stuff at 16, but escalating to identity theft by 18. Password? Our wedding date. The one Ethan always forgot. Jackpot. Screenshots burned into my phone. Wire transfers to Cayman shells. Labeled Mom's gift, ironically. Dusk fell like a guillotine as Ethan breezed in. Thai askew. Spinning tales of networking mixers. I played along, plating steak and Merlot, the dining room chandelier casting halos on his lies. Tell me about your day.
Chant.
He dove in, embellishing rejections into triumphs. But I steered sharp. Ever think about Jake's crash? Cops said accident. But what if? His fork paused midair. Veal dripping forgotten. Mom, you're spiraling again. Therapy helped last time. Remember? Last time, 6 months post-crash. When I pushed for an investigation and he dosed my chamomile with Ambien to help me sleep. The room thickened. Air electric with the unsaid. I leaned in, eyes locked. What if I don't want to sleep?
Ethan?
What if I want the truth? He laughed it off, but sweat beaded his temples. The first crack in his Boy Scout facade. That night, as he crashed in his room blasting EDM to drown doubts, I sat at my desk. The laptop's glow a confessional. Emails to a PI contact from my design network, discreet.
Cash only.
Bank alerts rerouted to a burner app. And the big one, a quiet amendment to my will, naming a trust in Ethan's name, but with clawback clauses for fraud. Controversial? Hell yes. Meddling in a son's future screamed helicopter mom on steroids. But in America, blood doesn't buy absolution. Friends would whisper, Poppy's lost it, the PDA coven clucking over wine about my control issues. But screw them. This was survival. Raw and unfiltered. The kind of vigilante justice that made headlines from coast to coast. By week's end, the hook was set. Ethan's startup pitch hit my inbox, some fintech app promising blockchain miracles. Needing seed money. In my old life, I'd wired $50K blind.
Now?
Let's vet it together. Honey.
Due diligence.
His smile faltered, but he nodded. The game afoot. Little did he know, the pawn was now the queen, and checkmate loomed like a Midwest thunderstorm. The summer heat wave turned Chicago into a pressure cooker, mirroring the slow boil in my veins as I wove the noose tighter around Ethan's empire of deceit. 2 weeks in, and the cracks were spiderwebbing late-night calls he took in the basement. Voice hushed like a dealer fencing hot goods, unexplained Venmo pings from investors, with handles like ShadowTrade87. I played the doting mom, stocking the fridge with his favorites, IPAs and organic kale smoothies, while my phone buzzed with PI updates. Ethan's crew. A pack of trust fund wolves led by his roommate Vance. Up to their elbows in pump-and-dump schemes targeting boomer retirees like me. Jake had sniffed it out, confronting Ethan in a screaming match I'd walked in on. Blood on the carpet from a thrown ashtray. Clean it up, or you're out, Jake had growled. Hours later, brakes failed on black ice that wasn't there. Coincidence?
My ass.
I decided to stir the pot at the family barbecue, Uncle Ray's annual rager in his Naperville McEstate, where the air reeked of charcoal and cutthroat small talk.
Ray,
with his Rolex gleam and bourbon gut, clapped me on the back like we were blood, not the vultures we'd become. Poppy. Darling. Ethan's glowing. That Goldman gig must be a lock. I smiled through gritted teeth, handing over deviled eggs laced with just enough truth serum in conversation. Ethan mingled. Charming ants with tales of Wall Street glory. But I cornered Ray by the grill, flipping burgers like flipping loyalties. Ray. About Jake's policy, any loose ends. He puffed his cigar, eyes narrowing. All tidy.
Pops.
Why dredge old graves? Because your nephew dug the first one. I thought, but aloud, just tying bows. Ethan's pitching big, want in. Greed lit his face like a match to dry tinder. Hook 2. The real fireworks popped when Vance showed. All bro douche in linen shorts and a man bun, slapping Ethan fives while eyeing me like fresh meat. In my dying delirium, I'd seen his depot footage, swearing Ethan acted alone. But his alibis crumbled under cross like wet cardboard.
Now.
I played flirt, laughing at his crypto jargon over Rose. Then dropped the bomb casual as confetti. Vance. Your app sounds killer. Mind if I audit the white paper? Old design habit, spot the glitches. His laugh died. Adam's apple bobbing. Sure. Mrs.
Ash.
I'll shoot it over. It arrived at midnight. A PDF riddled with red flags, plagiarized code, phantom backers. I forwarded it anonymously to the SEC tip line. My first controversial strike, whistleblowing on a kid's dream. Or torching a Ponzi. America loved its underdogs until they bit back. Ethan sensed the shift, cornering me in the kitchen post-barbecue. The house echoing with hangover ghosts.
Mom.
What's with a third degree on Vance? He's solid. I dry dishes slow. Deliberate. The clink like ticking clocks. Just protecting you, baby. Worlds full of wolves. His jaw tightened, the golden boy mask slipping to reveal the snarl beneath. I don't need protecting. I need space. Space to scam, to sabotage. That night, I found my vitamin bottle tampered, caps loose, pills swapped for lookalikes. Rage surged, but I palmed them, sending samples to a lab under a fake name. Results pinged in 48 hours, laced with low-dose fentanyl analogs. Enough to fog a liver over months, mimic cancer symptoms. My son, my shadow, plotting my fate out for the payout. Tears stung, but I blinked them back. Weakness was for the old poppy. The controversy escalated when I hit the bottle. Hard. Not the Merlot, but the truth serum of confrontation. Over breakfast, as Ethan shoveled frosted flakes, I slid the lab report across the formica. Explain this. His spoon clattered, milk pooling like spilled innocence. What the fuck? Mom, you rifling my shit now. Denial first, then deflection. Probably a mix-up at the pharmacy. You're paranoid. Cancer scares do that. I laughed, bitter as black coffee. No cancer yet,
Ethan.
but keep dosing me, and there will be. I know about the breaks, the wires, the offshore slush. Jake died for your side hustle, and I'm not joining him. The room froze, his face draining to ashen, eyes wild like a cornered fox. You're insane. I'd never, but the lie cracked, and he bolted, slamming the door to his room, music thumping like a war drum. I didn't chase. Instead, I escalated, filing a quiet restraining order draft with a lawyer not on Ray's payroll. A fierce Latina firebrand named Carla who'd clawed her way from the South Side. Controversial? Hell. Suing your own blood for elder abuse pre-crime scream tabloid bait. The kind of family feud that lit up Dateline. Carla warned me, Poppy, this paints you as the villain, meddling mom versus ambitious son. Juries eat that up. But I signed anyway. The pen heavy as judgment. Let them. Truth's my weapon. Meanwhile, the PI dug deeper. Ethan's Bali trip? Booked weeks before my diagnosis. Tickets in Vance's name for plausible deniability. And the post? Captioned with a winking emoji. Likes from Ray's firm buddies. The web tightened. Fall crept in, leaves turning bloody as my plans. Ethan's interview gigs dried up, my anonymous tips to recruiters, painting him as unreliable. He raged at dinner, accusing me of sabotage. You're ruining everything. I built this for us. For us. The lie that gutted me anew. I met his fury with ice. Us died with your father.
Sign over the accounts.
Or the cops get the files.
Stalemate.
He lawyered up via Ray, countersuing for emotional distress, the press sniffing around with headlines like Mother versus Son, Chicago inheritance wars. Neighbors whispered. Friends ghosted. I was the witch now. The controlling harpy hexing her prince. But isolation bred clarity. I sold the McMansion quiet like pocketing equity before he could lean it, relocating to a loft downtown, neutral ground, security cams rolling 24/7. The holidays loomed like a guillotine, Thanksgiving a farce with takeout turkey and Ray's passive-aggressive texts, family first.
Poppy.
Don't burn bridges. Burn them all, I thought, toasting with bourbon neat. Ethan showed, hollow-eyed, begging truce.
Mom.
I messed up. Let me fix it. His hug felt like a straitjacket, but I let it linger, inhaling the cologne masking desperation. That night, as snow dusted the city, I uncovered the twist, the real venom. In Jake's drive, buried under layers, emails from Ethan to Vance, dated pre-crash. Dad's onto us. The payout covers it, insurance double dip if we stage the hit. Not just greed. Premeditation. My husband, murdered by his own blood for a 7-figure float. The world tilted, rage eclipsing grief. No more games. Winter broke with a vengeance, my resolve forged in the forge of that revelation. I armed up, not with guns, but evidence, affidavits, forensics requests on the crash wreckage, even a sit-down with the DA's cold case unit. Carla's Rolodex gold. Controversial decisions piled like drifts, leaking snippets to a podcast hungry for true crime gold. Widow's Shadow, a son's betrayal. Listeners ate it. Calls flooding. Support from survivors. Hate from enablers screaming fake news. Ethan counters with sob stories on LinkedIn, painting me the monster. But the tide turned when Vance flipped. Subpoenas spooked him into a plea deal, ratting Ethan for immunity. The arrest came dawn. SWAT at Ray's door. Ethan in cuffs, snarling, "This is your fault, Mom," as they hauled him. Our eyes locked, his pleading, mine pitiless. "You made your bed.
Kid.
Lie in it." Spring thawed the ice, but the chill in my bones lingered like frostbite as Ethan's trial loomed. A circus tent pitched in the Daily Center. Headlines blaring, All-American heir on trial. Murder for millions? The defense spun him as prodigal son led astray by bad influences. Vance the villain. Me the catalyst with my hysterical meddling. Ray took the stand, silver hair haloed under lights, swearing Ethan was heartbroken by Jake's death. The insurance, a family lifeline. Lifeline my ass, it was the noose he'd tied. I testified last. Voice steady as Lake Michigan chop. Laying out the timeline. The hacks. The poisons. The forged docs. He didn't just betray me, I said. Facing the jury, blue-collar folks from Pilsen and the Gold Coast. Faces etched with their own scars. He erased us. For what? A beach selfie while I died alone. Gasps rippled. The prosecutor flashing my ICU photo, not graphic. Just me withered. Tubes snaking. Captioned with Ethan's post. Objection overruled. The judge. A no-nonsense black woman from the benches. Let it stand. Relevance to motive, she ruled. Her gavel a thunderclap. Ethan crumbled in the gallery, whispering to his counsel. But I saw the flicker, the real him. The scared boy I'd rocked through nightmares. Buried under the monster he'd built. Pity stabbed, but I crushed it. Trungsin wasn't mercy, it was mandate. Payback. Pure and unyielding. The twist hit mid-trial. A gut punch from left field. Ray's cross-exam unearthed Jake's affair. Letters. Explicit. To his TA, some poli-sci, ingenue half his age. Your father's sins started this, Ray sneered, implying Jake's stress led to the crash. Ethan just collateral. The courtroom buzzed. jurors shifting, my cheeks burning under the betrayal's afterglow. I'd known whispers, ignored them for stability.
But now?
It reframed everything. Jake's late nights, not probes, but trysts, his confrontation with Ethan, maybe cover for guilt. Had my rock been sand all along? Flashbacks assaulted. Our wedding vows in a Vegas chapel. His laugh echoing. The night he proposed. Fireworks over Navy Pier. Lies layered on lies. But as Carla coached in recess, twist or not, Poppy, the evidence holds. Don't let ghosts derail you. I didn't. Closing arguments framed the controversy stark. Was I avenging a murder? Or prosecuting my failures? America lapped it up, Fox calling me vindictive vixen, CNN fierce maternal justice. Protests outside, feminists chanting believe survivors, incels yelling mommy issues. My loft became a bunker. Take out my companion. Nights haunted by what-ifs. What if I'd confronted Jake?
Divorced clean.
Spared the widow's web? But hindsight was the luxury of the living. I died once. Learned brutal.
Ethan?
His eyes met mine daily.
Hollowed.
Begging forgiveness I'd never grant. I love you, Mom, he mouthed once. Mid-recess. Love, the word weaponized. The chain I'd forged myself. Verdict day dawned muggy. The loop a steam bath of anticipation. Guilty on all counts. Manslaughter. Fraud. Attempted murder. 20 to life. No parole wiggle. The gavel fell. Ethan sagging as bailiffs cuffed him. Ray storming out with a glare that promised appeals. I stood. Legs jelly. Carla hugging fierce. You did it.
Poppy.
Justice. But elation soured quick, the cost ledgered in isolation. My name mud in polite circles. The family fractured like cheap crystal. No happy ending bow, this was the American grind. Gritty and gray. Months blurred into reinvention. I shuttered the design, biz. Pivoted to true crime consulting, podcasts, books. Even a Netflix pitch titled Reset, A Mother's Reckoning. Controversy clung like glitter. Was I profiting off pain? Hell yes. And unapologetic. The Advance bought a cottage up in Door County. Waves lapping Lake Michigan like absolution. There, under star-pricked skies, I scattered Jake's ashes, not at the crash site, but a bluff overlooking the water, whispering the truths I'd buried. You weren't perfect, but you were mine. Forgiveness? Partial. For Ethan, letters weekly, stiff at first, detailing prison routines, therapy breakthroughs. I see it now.
Mom.
The monster I fed. My replies softened. Edges filed. Recipes. Book recs. Glimpses of a life reclaimed. Redemption's a slow thaw. Not a flood. One crisp autumn eve. Parole board denied. Ray's appeals tanked in federal court. I drove to Logan. The visitor's room sterile as an autopsy. Ethan older.
Gaunt.
But eyes clearer. You look good.
Mom.
Free. We talked hours. His regrets raw. My scars bared. No hugs through plexi, but a bridge sketched. Driving back. Wind whipping. I realized the twist gift. Not just survival, but sovereignty. I died betrayed. Reborn vengeful. Ended.
Whole.
Not happy-clappy, but fiercely, unbreakably me. America's underbelly taught that lesson hard. Family's the sharpest blade. But wielded right, it carves your path. And if the cosmic glitch offered another reset, I'd pass. This life's messy triumph was mine, earned in blood. Inc. and Unbreakable Will. Poppy Harlan. Phoenix from the ICU Flames. Signing off, no regrets. Just the road ahead. Throttle wide open.